Every sailor yearns for the chance to face dead Kel. He and his hangmen go where they please, masters of the frostbreak. In my experience, islands are places you visit in order to escape torment and certain death. The Gallows End is one destination I will avoid on future voyages. Unless I crash there, of course.
Well, I grew up listening to the first Scion's tales of Akara's love for us, of his promise to keep us safe and provide for us. Nothing but stories. Akara cares nothing for the people on this island. If he did, why didn't he save my mother? He has lorded over this island for as long as I can remember. Luckily, he left us alone most of the time. I'll never be sure why. I was born on this island, raised to believe that the outside world held nothing for me. It was all lies. Goodbye.
Fine.
Trading's done in the Pryderi. Not a finer city in Amalur.
You're in want of something rare, something marvelous, am I mistaken? It's my brothers that ply the seas and bring me goods to trade. When I tire of Rithia, I'll wait till they return and back upon the foam. Not a bad sight from the bow of your ship, although I've never become accustomed to the strange ways of these southern Alfar. Darkalfar, whatever you like to call them, like and unlike to their sisters in the north. Losalfar, that is. The goods here you'll not find the likes of anywhere else. Not without braving the raging seas, at least. Safe travels.
Stay dry, Captain. Docked in Rithia today. A drink, these Alpha women. Bewitching is what they are. These Alpha women. Bewitching is what they are. A fine eve.
Busy these days.
You're not from the Scholia Arcana, are you? If they don't want my company, I certainly don't want theirs. If you're not one of them, well, you're welcome to join me. I'm enjoying the ale and cheer and no bloody spells or mysteries. One thing I've learned, the ladies here are like the spire. Breathtakingly beautiful and completely unassailable, especially to a failure like me. Those cowards dismissed me. Afraid of me. Afraid of how difficult it'd be to train me. What is this? Ah, it was only a matter of time before the army found me out. Just my luck. This calls for another drink. I'll have to pack my things. Ah, Alison. How do I tell my sister? Where will she live? How will she live? Army wages can pay for Alison now, but I'm leaving her. I'll send money. I hope she doesn't end up in the Wending. Let them sleep in their lofty towers. I'm headed for a real life, not sitting in front of books all day and being condescended to. Rose, another ale! Make that two!
You must be here about the notice. How do I know? Simple. No one but potential applicants will even speak to me. Must be because I reek of desperation, of one sending young souls off to certain doom. I have served the Alfar Merchant Navy since my youth, when I began my career as a deckhand on the good ship Steadfast. He is the scourge of the Frostbreak Sea, a terror who seems intent on sinking every ship we sail from Rethere or elsewhere. If only he'd stayed dead. It's the fierce, icy ocean north of the plains of Erethel, a busy place of trade and transport, and the occasional treachery. It is the hideaway of Dead Kell and his crew. The legends speak of it as a damned isle, a horrible scar on the face of the world. To be quite honest, no one is sure of its true location. For the best, I say. Well, once you hear the details, I'm sure you will lose interest. Everyone else does. We of the Alfar Merchant Navy wish to hire a representative to track and kill the notorious pirate Dead Kell and his crew of murderous hanged men. They had many names for him during the Middle Kingdoms era. Ghost of the Frostbreak, the Blood-Red Sail. Every captain and swab on the Frostbreak Sea feared for their lives when Kell raised his flag. Many widows were made in those days, my friend. Of course, that was centuries ago, before he was killed. Oh, yes. The Alfar Navy put an end to Dead Kell generations ago. They tracked him to his island hideaway and turned his ship to tinder. There were no survivors. Now you understand our predicament. Our shipping and transport lanes are a gauntlet. Dead Kell preys on our ships like scabs feast on the dying. We are helpless against him. We're losing 1 in 5 vessels departing from Rethere. Good sailors gone. Vital supplies sent to the depths. This must end now. You will? Truly? I must admit I did not anticipate this development. Here is your payment. It is made in good faith. Once you've made your preparations, report to Captain Rast Bratigan in the Keys. She will be your escort. Rast is a good and loyal companion and a competent sailor, despite what they say. May Lyria protect you, and may her breath ever be at your back. Good luck. She is the only captain willing to pursue Dead Kell into the mists of the Frostbreak Sea. Perhaps it is her courage, her skill, her determination. That's not it. Rast is a good woman, but unaware of her own faults, of which there are many. They don't call her the worst sailor alive for nothing. Nothing causes a captain and crew more grief than those little blue beasts. Their poisonous secretions can eat through a new hull in a matter of days. They're not native to this region, but they stow away in the shadowy holes of ships sailing up from the north. They are Dead Kell's legendary crew, a trio of villains so sinister that their names sink the heart of every sailor. But I won't tell you any more. No, you don't need anything else to stoke your worry. She perches along the pier like a seabird, never venturing far from her ship, the Calamity. Trust
Excuse me,
us.
coming through.
Get this. I wake up yesterday morning with the worst headache, no shirt, and a note that I'm fighting a duel. Me? Fighting a duel? Don't know how I got into it, but it's all rot unless I can find a second. I swear I don't remember a thing. Apparently I challenged Dalton Ames, the war hero, over the honor of my sister. I do seem to remember him and his bulky arms sitting smugly in the sea foam, taunting me. Surely you've heard of him. Back from Rereckoning, and everyone's talking about his exploits on the battlefield. They used to talk about my exploits with society daughters, but... Proud son of forested traders, my name is gold in every watering hole and board house in Rathir, and, well, I'm not really allowed out of Rathir. You can't fight a duel without one. Now, you might be thinking, a popular fellow like Wayland, what trouble could he have finding a second? Well, turns out my friends are all drunken cowards. Look, you seem tough enough. Be my second, and I'll make it worth your while. Thank Lupoku. There is something else I should mention. There is no way in all Amalur I'll win this fight, so I've devised a plan. Before you go to Dalton, that's my opponent, find Gelfine in the Wending and ask for some rows of shadows. She'll know what you mean. Then go to the officers' hall in the burn and, on the sly, put some on Dalton's sword point when you inspect it. All in good time, my friend. All in good time. The way I see it, I'm doomed to end up in Mel Senshir, and I'd rather cut the nose off my face than live a soldier's life. I want some freedom, and you're going to help me, right? After you've got the rows of shadows from Gelfine in the Wending, you've got to talk to Dalton in the officers' hall. Tell him I'm ready. He'll show you his dueling sword. Dab a bit of the rows of shadows on it. Then come back to me. Now, time for my part in this business.
A prayer for our troops.
Please, find Selny. Tell her we betrayed. The lower tunnels. Go. Tell Selny. No one else. Betrayed.
Do not miss Leogriff's many marvels.
Oh, there's no use. I've lost the keys. Now Gwalt may'll have my head if I can't think up something fast. Say, you're not good with locks, are you? Would you help a poor fellow who's down on his luck? Yes, as in, no need for keys. ace with a lockpick. Gwalchmey wants an old red ledger from the storeroom in the customs house. Oh, I'm afraid they're lost for good. Now, I might have dropped them here, or at Kest's table the other night, but it's just as likely I dropped them in Bracken Bay after I'd had an ale or three at the Seafoam. The chest it's in, that is, yes. Although I don't know which one it is. But it's down there, somewhere. Oh, now don't worry, nothing in the storeroom's seen the light of day in years. No one will mind if you pick a few locks before you find it. The Chamber of Trade's on the way to the quays, and the storeroom's off one of the wings. Just pick any lock down there till you find the old ledger. Well, he's a good enough master, all in all. Sees to it I earn every coin of my wages, though. No standing about, not in his shop. With all these people walking around, you'd figure someone would help me after I lost my keys. Gets these ideas into his head. Needs this old thing, needs that new thing. This time it's shard prices by the decade. Something to do with a deal he is or isn't striking with that Carasta trader. Oh, the things they say about that Lanshi. That she talked a Jotun out of his own hammer once. And another time sold some Varani fool his own silk for twice as much, after cutting it to ribbons and winding it on spools. Me, Gwalchmey calls me lad whenever he wants me, and the others call me hardly anything at all. Just fetch this and lift that. Chamber of Trade basement. Just head toward the quays. Oh, and have these. That should help.
Do not miss Leogriff's many marvels.
Stand aside.
witness Leogriff's many marvels.
Any luck down the ledger? Oh, Lunala's smile, you've done me a good turn. Master Gwalchmail be pleased as a fat Jotun when I bring him this, he will.
Curios, talismans, items of power.
Welch maze is just cute.
Good day to you.
What's this here? A little soldier come wandering down the coast? Sure, I'm a soldier. We all are, or were more like, until we found better use for a sword and shield. You'd better get word to Mad Hast in the customs house. Him and his will want to know. They always do. Dandra theory.
They found me! Make it quick. Thank Mitharu. I thought I'd die here, the last of Coln's settlers, alone. She promised we'd rebuild Coln. Should have known that was impossible. Can't blame her. We chose to come here, hoping that war was far enough gone that we might rebuild. All around you, this was Coln. It might have been again, but now everyone is gone. Damn Tuatha. After 10 years spent wandering the plains, we thought we could rebuild our homes. How could we be so wrong? When we arrived, there was nothing here. Then, like a second dawn march, they were everywhere. Why do they hate us? They're not like the other Fae. It was after the Tuatha's first defeat in Erythal. They were scattered, but regrouped south of Tawili. Under cover of night, They marched north, and with the dawn attacked Rathir. General Telera's forces cut them off and drove them back into the sea. Nella and the foragers were out when the Tuatha came. It was a massacre until they returned and drove them off. She and the others set off for Verki, where Nella said they came from. If you've got any hope of finding her alive, you'll get there quickly. Anyone who could fight had left to forage. When the Tuatha finally came, there was no one to resist. Stronghold in southern Tewili, mostly destroyed during the war. Verki, head south through the narrow pass, then turn east. If you want to help her, you'd better go now.
On the third year of passage, Tirin entered Dalantarth. In dark wood and fany field she strode, until from wandering she was taken to the roots of mighty Velagru's child. So laden with Lyria's song, a greater magic known to none, she communed with nature's spirit, but the lyric she sought was not found. So to the plains of Erethel travelled the Lyria-guided Tirin. Wind chased her swarthy cloak and tresses, masked her against the moonlit plains. That ebon evening tide, that coloured shade that so long ago marked us, Tirin marched against the celestial expanse. Beneath the diamonded sky she found her rest. These walls are grown, are built of stone. Lovingly this place was crafted. You see the lights, the mystic halls of ordered reality? They are the faces of the missing, the embodied truth of the lost souls. There are so many of them. Still, you can see them. They are like pathetic charades, some with good intentions, and you can't fault them that. But the majority of them are just a hoax. Needless to say, I don't like it here. You could have stayed free and lived a comfortable life, but you couldn't settle the disquiet that haunts people like you.
Tuatha! I appreciate the help, but my work here isn't done. Unless you're going deeper into Verki, I'll take my leave. I'm not going back until the work is done. You'll just have to help. They're coming in through the water gates in the depths of this place. They must have found them. That's their way in. We see Tuatha crawling out of here every time we pass. As for the gates, I remember them from when I was a child, before the Tuatha came. Unexpected, but thank you. With you here, we just might make it. Let's go. At the bottom, of course. They were used to let boats in. You can be sure we'll find more Tuatha along the way. What did my father say of me? I can look after myself, though I'm grateful for your help all the same. I should have sent word, but I wanted to give him good news from Colm. Tell him things had gotten better. But they never did. And it's my fault that the refugees were lost. After 10 years, we thought we could rebuild. I led them here, and here they died. The idea was mine, as is the blame. Those of us who could defend ourselves went out to find supplies. The rest stayed and helped in the ruins. Tuatha picked us off, one by one. We were out looking for supplies. Came home to find Tuatha attacking the village. All those people dead, at the hands of those monsters. We drove off the first group, but they just kept coming. The survivors scattered. I left to find where the Tuatha had come from. Most of this place fell in the war, but it appears the lower levels were mostly unharmed, lucky for us. Are we going? More to Arthur! There's the lever to the gate. Throw it. The gate lever! There! The gate lever! There! They can't get in this way anymore. Let's go. It's finished. Return with me. If I know my father, he'll want to thank you in person. Are we going? I won't let them back on our
never forget what you have done for me, and Anella. No thanks could ever be enough, but please, accept this humble reward. Not a bird to be caged, I'm afraid. Still, I hope her time on the Tawili coast has opened her eyes to the realities of the world. Just an old merchant with his share of grief, but his share of fortune, too. I have a home here in Tyrion's Rest, and my daughter by my side. I, too, dream of seeing Culm rebuilt, but I fear it will be years past this war's end before such a thing could be.
Take the lesson of Culm. Those who ignore Lyria's will shall be swept away by her tempests. But we who hold to the faith shall not be shaken.
Come back to help me against stock ledgers and bills of trade. This is what I do now. Perhaps I'll be a merchant like my father. Perhaps I'll be a different sort, the kind that does some good. My father is just what he seems to be, an old merchant with a good heart. He's training me in his trade, but if I could, I'd be fighting the Tuatha. I know, it was too soon to resettle. Don't you think I knew that as soon as we arrived? Some things have to be seen through, though, no matter what. These people give gold for the war, but spit on its refugees. It's a town for fools and hypocrites, and my father.
Has anyone seen Candia lately?
Can I help you?
Take the lesson of Culm. Those who ignore Lyria's will shall be swept away by her tempests. But we who hold to the faith shall not be shaken.
Why, hello. Welcome to Brad and Sergrin. What brings the likes of you to our peaceful little town? If it's trade, Aethiof and I are more than happy to have your business. Oh, yes. Lyria's blessing, our priestess calls it. We have good trade, good health. No violence, no crime. Why, not a soul's been thrown in the... Ah, Gwastel, you old fool. You never did know when to keep your mouth shut. There's a prisoner in the jail. Not a mortal. But Orella and White Nil said it was right, and it's not as if they see things as we do anyway. He might be happy there. Only please, don't breathe a word of this to anyone. I told you, he's in the jail, in Burin Cove. Go see for yourself if you must. Just don't tell anyone I had anything to do with it. She'll make a fine trader, once she's got that wanderlust out of her blood. Common of the youth, don't you think? It's good to have Aethiof with his heart and head back in the business. And of course Anella home as well. Just an old merchant, enjoying a comfortable life in the countryside, although trade has been rather slow lately. The priestess is quite a boon to our community. I don't know if we'd be so prosperous without her guidance. We buried our things during the war. I left something I love, but with all the danger there, I won't go wading back. I've gone and run on at the mouth again. Tyrion's Rest is a lovely place, and what's done is done, and locked away and forgotten. Trade is good. Not what you'll find in Rathir, to be sure. But please, have a look for yourself. Good day, then.
The Nareens are back.